Peppa Pig, not very well. Peppa has red spots on her face.
I don't feel very well,
she says. Oh dear, Mummy Pig frowns. You don't look very well. She decides to call Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear is sitting in his surgery. He listens very carefully to Mummy Pig. Says Dr. Brown Bear.
Put Peppa to bed and I'll come straight round.
Dr. Brown Bear drives over to Peppa's house. He has come to make her better.
Hello,
says Dr. Brown Bear.
How are you today?
I'm not very well,
Peppa sighs. Dr. Brown Bear tells Peppa to stick out her tongue and say, ah. Dr. Brown Bear nods his head.
It's not anything serious,
he says.
Peppa has just got a rash.
Peppa has a rash. It is very exciting.
Do I need medicine?
She asks.
The rash will clear up quickly,
says Dr. Brown Bear.
But if you like, I can give you just a little medicine.
Yes, please,
says Peppa. Peppa snorts.
The medicine tastes disgusting.
I will come back later to check that you are better,
says Dr. Brown Bear. Can Peppa have visitors? asks Mummy Pig.
Oh yes,
says Dr. Brown Bear.
The rash isn't catching.
Mummy Pig rings up Susie Sheep's mummy. May Peppa talk to Susie Sheep, please? She says. Susie comes to the phone. Peppa tells her about the spots and the medicine and being really ill.
I'm coming to see you,
Susie says,
in my nurse's outfit.
Susie arrives in her nurse's outfit. Danny Dog and Rebecca Rabbit have come along too.
Hello, Peppa,
they say.
I'm not very well, says Peppa. I have to stay in bed.
Poor Peppa. Susie, Danny and Rebecca wonder what they can do to make her better. Peppa asks Susie to bring her some orange juice. She thinks up some things for Danny and Rebecca to do too.
Do you feel any better now?
asks Susie. Peppa sighs.
A little bit.
Dr. Brown Bear arrives. He has come to see how Peppa is doing.
No more red spots,
he says.
You're completely better.
Aren't I still a bit ill?
asks Peppa. Peppa wonders if she should stay in bed just in case. Daddy Pig looks out of the window. I fancy a game in the garden, he says. Who wants to join me?
Me,
say Susie, Danny and Rebecca.
And me,
shouts Peppa. Hooray! Peppa is feeling better after all. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's first sleepover. Peppa is going to her very first sleepover at Zoe Zebra's house.
Welcome to my sleepover,
Zoe says. I'll pick you up in the morning, Mummy Pig says to Peppa with a kiss. Rebecca Rabbit, Susie Sheep and Emily Elephant are already here.
I've got my teddy,
Peppa says. Zoe has her monkey, Rebecca has her carrot, Susie has her owl, and Emily has her frog.
Don't stay up too late, girls, and don't be too loud. Daddy Zebra has to get up early to deliver the post.
Mummy Zebra says as she turns out the lights. Zoe's baby twin sisters, Zuzu and Zaza, want to join the sleepover too.
Sleepovers are only for big girls,
Zoe says. The twins begin to cry.
They're so sweet and little,
Peppa says.
Can you stay?
Rebecca asks.
Okay,
Zoe says to the twins.
but you must not fall asleep. What should we do first?
Susie asks.
I'm having piano lessons. Listen.
Zoe starts to pound on the keys.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Mommy Zebra has woken up.
Shh! You must be quiet so Daddy Zebra can sleep. Now, into your sleeping bags, please. What do we do now?
Peppa asks.
At sleepovers, there's always a midnight feast.
Zoe says.
It's when we eat things.
Susie says in a hushed voice.
In secret.
Shh, Zoe says as she leads the girls to the kitchen. They each grab some delicious fruit, perfect for a midnight feast. The floorboard creaks.
Oh no, Mommy Zebra has woken up. You'll wake Daddy Zebra. Now who knows a bedtime story?
The girls take turns.
Once upon a time, there was a little fairy.
Susie begins.
And she lived in the forest.
Peppa continues.
And the fairy met a big monster who went rawr.
Emily says with a big elephant trumpet noise. Oh dear, the noise has woken Daddy Zebra.
Sorry, Daddy,
Zoe says.
There was a story about a fairy and a scary monster. And we want to know what happens next,
Peppa says.
Very well,
Daddy Zebra sighs.
the monster lifted up his great big hairy paws and walked along on his great big hairy feet and sang, Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Daddy Zebra sings gently as he plays the piano. Daddy Zebra's song has sent everyone to sleep. The end. Peppa Pig. Read it yourself. The Family Computer. Peppa, George, Daddy Pig, Computer, Computer Game, Work, Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig has work to do. She is on the computer.
Daddy,
Says Peppa.
can we go and see Mummy?
Yes, if you can be good, says Daddy Pig.
Can George and I see you work?
Says Peppa. Yes, if you can be good, says Mummy.
Can we play a computer game?
Says Peppa. No, Peppa, I have work to do, says Mummy. Mummy Pig has work to do.
Can we do your work with you?
Says Peppa. Then she taps the computer.
No, Peppa.
Says Mummy. The computer is not working,
Sorry, Mummy.
says Peppa.
Daddy Pig,
Says Mummy.
you're the expert. Can you come and mend the computer?
Sorry, I am not very good at mending computers, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig taps the computer. He turns it off. Then he turns it on. Off. On.
You have mended it, Daddy.
Says Peppa. Yes, I am an expert at mending computers, says Daddy.
Can we play a computer game with you? Says Peppa.
Yes, you can play your game, says Daddy Pig. Peppa and George are playing the computer game. It is a very good game. I see the computer is working again, says Mummy Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Tiny Creatures. It is a lovely day for a nature walk. Let's see what we can find, says Mummy Pig. Peppa and George run up to a big tree.
Spider!
Shouts George happily. The tree is very bumpy. Hello, Mr. Spider. They follow the path to a big flowery meadow.
Wow! Flower!
Shouts George. Suddenly the flower moves.
That's not a flower, George, says Peppa. It's a pretty butterfly.
The butterfly has very shimmery wings. This is a wildflower meadow, says Daddy Pig. Butterflies like it here, and so do bees. Peppa spots a bee sitting on Daddy Pig's backpack.
Wow! He thinks you're a big flower, Daddy,
says Peppa, giggling. The bee is very fluffy. The bee buzzes away. A worm pops its head out of the grass.
I'm a wiggly worm, I'm a wiggly worm,
sing Peppa and George, wriggling on their tummies. The wiggly worm loves hiding in the soft grass. Wiggle, wiggle. George finds a snail. It has a shell on its back. Well done, George, says Daddy Pig. The shell is the snail's house.
That means snails go on nature walks every day and take their houses with them,
says Peppa. The snail has a shiny shell. Peppa loves tiny creatures. Everyone loves tiny creatures. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Pop-Up Unicorns. Peppa and Susie Sheep are playing in Granny and Grandpa Pig's garden.
Let's go on a unicorn hunt,
says Peppa. Susie looks around.
I can't see any unicorns. Just pretend,
says Peppa.
that this is an enchanted forest.
What's in Peppa's enchanted forest? It's a magical rainbow unicorn. Peppa and Susie skip across the grass.
There are so many beautiful flowers,
says Peppa. Susie makes 2 daisy chains, one for her and one for Peppa.
These are princess crowns,
says Susie.
and this is our kingdom.
What can you see in Princess Peppa and Princess Susie's kingdom? It's a flower princess unicorn.
Wow!
Peppa takes Susie to see Grandpa Pig's strawberry patch.
Unicorns live here too,
Peppa says.
but they are very, very tiny.
Susie gasped.
Are they fairy unicorns?
peep through the strawberries. Who is hiding here? It's a tiny fairy unicorn.
Wow!
Susie spots Granny Pig's wishing well.
This place must be magic,
She cries. Peppa finds a shiny coin sitting on the grass.
Let's throw it into the well and make a wish. I wish,
Says Susie.
that we could find more unicorns.
Who has come for a trot around the wishing well? It's a wonderful wishing unicorn.
Peppa, Susie,
Calls a voice.
time to come inside.
It's Granny Pig. The garden is getting too dark for playing pretend. Peppa and Susie wave up at the moon and stars.
Goodbye, unicorns,
Says Peppa.
thanks for coming out to play.
Who is swishing their tail and galloping across the sky? It's a starry surprise unicorn.
Wow!
Peppa loves unicorns. Everyone loves unicorns. The end. Peppa Pig, Sun, Sea and Snow. Peppa and George are going on a coach trip to the seaside with Mummy and Daddy Pig.
Yippee!
Says Peppa.
I'm going to build lots of sand castles.
Wow!
Then she looks out of the window. Oh no, a lot of snow has fallen overnight. Daddy Pig opens the door and goes out. A snowman comes back in. I'm cold, says the snowman.
It's a talking snowman.
Gasps Peppa. It's Daddy Pig, Peppa, says Mummy Pig. There is so much snow, it has covered him. Everyone warms up Daddy Pig by rubbing him with towels. That's better, says Daddy Pig.
Now we can go to the seaside.
Cheers, Peppa. I don't think the coach will be running today, Peppa, says Mummy Pig. Not with all this snow. Miss Rabbit's coach arrives at Peppa's house. How did you get through all that snow? Asked Mummy Pig.
My big snowplow pushes the snow out of the way,
Says Miss Rabbit.
Next stop, the seaside.
They set off for the seaside. On the way, they pass Mr. Bull and his team gritting the road. The grit melts the snow.
The road is clear all the way to the seaside,
Says Mr. Bull.
Have a lovely day at the beach,
Says Mr. Bull. Peppa and her friends are very excited. They sing a happy seaside song.
We're all going on a seaside holiday. Sandcastle swimming and sunny skies. We're all going on a seaside holiday. Sea and sand and ice cream too.
The coach arrives at the seaside.
The beach is covered in snow,
Says Peppa. The sea looks cold, says Miss Rabbit. I was looking forward to having a swim, says Mummy Pig, disappointed. Mummy Pig decides to go swimming in the sea anyway.
Is it cold, Mummy?
Asks Peppa. It is a little bit cold, calls Mummy Pig back.
If you keep moving, you'll warm up,
Says Mummy Sheep. I'll keep moving then, says Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig runs out of the sea again. Now it is Mummy Pig's turn to be warmed up. Peppa, George and Daddy Pig rub her with towels.
That's better, says Mummy Pig. It is too cold to go swimming and there's no sand to play with. What can we do now?
Asked Peppa. Daddy Pig has a good idea too. We can't make sand castles as the beach is covered in snow, but we can make snow castles, says Daddy Pig.
I love the seaside,
cries Susie Sheep.
And I love the snow,
adds Danny Dog.
I love the seaside and the snow, says Peppa.
Everyone loves the seaside and the snow. The end. Peppa Pig The Castle. Peppa and George were once on their way to see an old castle. They were going to walk round the castle. Once we get there, we will walk right round the castle and see it all, said Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig had a map to find the old castle.
Wow!
The old castle is after this big round hill, he said. The old castle was not after the big round hill. Can you see an old castle? Asked Mummy Pig. Not yet, said Daddy Pig. We need to turn left after this tree. We will see it once we go past the tree. The old castle was not past the tree.
How far is the castle from here, Mummy?
Asked Peppa. Do not ask me, ask Daddy. He has got the map, said Mummy Pig. Not far, said Daddy Pig. We need to turn right after this round pond. The old castle was not after the round pond. How far is it from here, Daddy? Asked Mummy Pig. I think this is an old map, said Daddy Pig. I will stop the car and ask Grandpa Pig, said Mummy Pig.
The old castle is just round the corner from you,
said Grandpa Pig. Just round the corner, said Mummy Pig.
Turn right just after the tree and then left after the pond. You can walk there if you like,
said Grandpa Pig.
Wow!
Once Peppa and George had got to the castle, they went for a walk round it.
How old is the castle?
Asked Peppa. It is an old castle, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. I will tell you as we walk round it. After a walk round the castle, Peppa and George were at the top. There was a telescope up there. I have 2 coins. Peppa can look in the telescope once, and George can look at once too, said Daddy Pig. George had a look.
How far can you see?
Asked Peppa.
Far,
said George. Peppa had a look. How far can you see, Peppa? Asked Daddy Pig.
I can see as far as a car. And I can see Grandpa Pig from here,
said Peppa.
Hooray!
Hello, Grandpa Pig. Peppa can see you in the telescope, said Mummy Pig.
Hello. Once you have had a walk round, I will tell you how to get home,
said Grandpa Pig. It will be easy to get back from the old castle. Daddy has got his map, said Mummy Pig. Good luck. Daddy Pig's map is as old as the castle, said Grandpa Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Pedros Cough. Peppa and her friends are waiting for Madame Gazelle to start their music lesson. Miss Polly Hatty Dolly, sings Madame Gazelle. What is that strange noise? Poor Pedro Pony has a nasty cough. Not to worry, says Madame Gazelle. I'll ring Dr. Brown Bear. Dr. Brown Bear looks after everyone when they are poorly. Dr. Brown Bear picks up his medical kit, jumps in his doctor's car, and drives straight to playgroup. I've got a cough, says Pedro when Dr. Brown Bear arrives. It's nothing serious, says Dr. Brown Bear. But it may be catching, so we'll give you some medicine. Cries Pedro. It tastes like old shoe full of jam. Susie Sheep and Danny Dog start to cough too. As I thought, says Dr. Brown Bear. Pedro's cough is catching. He gives them both some cough medicine. It tastes of carpet flavoured yogurt, says Susie. Yuck! It tastes of flowers, says Danny. Do you ever get ill, Dr. Brown Bear? Asked Peppa. I'm never ill because I eat an apple a day, says Dr. Brown Bear. Soon it is home time and the parents arrive to pick up the children. Hooray! I've got a cough, says Pedro. Dr. Brown Bear came to look after us, says Danny. All the adults start coughing too. Peppa picks up the phone. Dr. Brown Bear, now all the grown-ups are ill, she says. Now it is the grown-ups' turn to take the cough medicine. It tastes like custard and old socks, cries Madame Gazelle. All the grown-ups must take the medicine to help them feel better. No one likes the medicine. Who looks after you when you're ill? Asked Peppa. No one looks after me, replies Dr. Brown Bear. I'm never... Dr. Brown Bear has caught Pedro's cough too. Oh no! Who will look after Dr. Brown Bear? Gasped Peppa. Poor Dr. Brown Bear is taken to hospital. He has some visitors. Danny has brought some fruit. Susie has brought the medicine. Open wide, says Susie. Ugh! Cries Dr. Brown Bear. It tastes like jammy yogurt flavoured carpet shoe with floury custard old socks. Soon Dr. Brown Bear is feeling better. Everyone loves being looked after, even Dr. Brown Bear. The end. Peppa's Windy Fall Day. It is a windy fall day. Peppa and her family are going to the park. Let's put on our warm clothes, says Mummy Pig. When it's cold outside, Peppa and her family wear their hats, scarves and coat. In the car, Daddy Pig turns on the heater. Is everyone nice and warm? Daddy asks.
Yes, Daddy Pig.
Off they go. Soon Peppa and her family are in the park.
Why are all the leaves red and yellow?
Peppa asks. In the fall, it gets colder and the leaves change colour, says Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig has a ball. Let's play a game to keep warm. He kicks the ball to Peppa.
My turn,
cries Peppa. Peppa kicks the ball to George. Now it is George's turn, but the wind blows the ball away.
It's not supposed to go that way,
cries Peppa. Peppa and George chase the ball. Uh-oh! The ball has rolled all the way into the pond.
Bonk, bonk.
Don't worry, says Daddy Pig. I'll use this stick to get the ball. Daddy reaches out as far as he can.
Just a little bit farther, Daddy,
says Peppa. Please be careful, Daddy Pig, says Mummy. Daddy Pig reaches out too far. He falls into the pond. Sploosh! Silly Daddy Pig. Luckily, the wind begins to blow again. The wind blows the ball out of the pond. It's getting windier, says Mummy Pig. Hold on to your hats, Peppa and George. Peppa holds on to her hat, but George does not hold on to his. Whoosh! Away goes George's hat. The wind blows George's hat up into a tree.
How will we get George's hat down?
asks Peppa. Simple, says Mummy Pig. I'll give the tree a little shake. Shake, shake, shake. Oh dear, Mummy Pig shakes the tree a bit too much. Plop! All of her leaves fall on top of her. Where did George's hat go? Mummy Pig asks.
It's on your head,
Peppa laughs. The wind blows and blows.
Look, Daddy, I'm leaning into the wind,
cries Peppa. The wind is strong enough to hold up Peppa and George. It is even strong enough to hold up Daddy Pig. After a while, the wind stopped.
What can we do now?
Peppa asked. What's your favourite game? asked Daddy Pig.
Jumping up and down in muddy puddles,
says Peppa.
But there aren't any, only boring dry leaves.
And what do we do with dry leaves? asked Daddy Pig.
I don't know, says Peppa.
Jump up and down in them, says Daddy Pig. Everyone loves jumping up and down in dry leaves.
This has been the best fall day ever,
says Peppa. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.